Hello! We're doing something different today. Everyone is in costume. We are celebrating our 1 year of FURN. We started playing and recording a year ago, more or less to the day. Right now, which is pretty awesome. So we're doing a fun little. I've got a one shot in my homebrew world, which you will see later in the year, and they're right now about to affect the history. So, as always, we're sponsored by Destai. Viking metal made by a Viking, cool little woman who does fun little things. She makes like key rings, which are cool, got some key rings. She makes various types of jewelry, and she also makes dice bags. So if you guys want to remove the tea towels on the table,
It was a little
and I will get mine out of my dice bag.
I was thinking I'm going to order a dice bag.
Holy
So
crap.
we've all got these made for us.
Wow.
We did all these dice somewhere.
These can hold 4 sets of dice.
Wow.
Happily, they've all been tested too. Chainmail dice bags are all in fun blue colour. They've all got dragon scales on them, which is pretty sweet. This is a thank you to you from me and Nathan for giving up a Sunday and potentially a Saturday to come and record, and sticking up with the additional things we've asked you to do. For this particular session. Yeah, there's a little FURN stamp on it as well.
That is cool.
So
How long did that take to do?
a long time.
I was going to say.
We ordered these before Christmas,
Yeah.
and they turned up yesterday, Tuesday.
That's
Perfect
convenient.
timing.
Yeah, that's convenient timing. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, we checked with her whether or not she'd like to do it beforehand.
Oh, I can put my special D20s in it.
Yeah. So.
And now I can unload some of the dice that have been eaten by my mimic.
Yeah.
Please read them. That is,
I actually finally have somewhere to put all my dice.
that is so cool.
Yeah, they're a really cool dice bags. So
Yeah.
now that we actually
Yeah.
have some, I'll show this off because they look awesome. Chainmail dice bags. There you go. So that's sweet. So thank you, Victoria and Destai, for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
They're amazing. The little dragon scales are as well.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, good.
Just the hype of the dice bags. It's great.
Sleeves up because I keep getting called
Yeah.
dice and
There's a link to her stuff down in the description below. Go click on that. You can explore the various wares she does on top of dice bags and key rings and necklaces and bracelets and all sorts of fun things like that. So yeah, go look at all the other stuff we do. There's a whole bunch of it. Just explore YouTube. Go to Podbean and iTunes. Look for the FURNcast. There's podcast. There's 2 weekly D&D series. There's 2 fortnightly how to play, how to DM series. There's special stuff. We've got a Halloween special. We had a Christmas special. We now have a 1 year one shot special. Just go have a look at all the things we do, and hopefully you shall enjoy. So we're going to start playing now. So, recently, to the known world of Xynthian, the planet that you live on, the continent / realm / kingdom of Iaerk has recently come back into the general knowledge of society. Your records have shown that back when the planet was formed, Iaerk was at the center of the planet prior to the elemental titans shredding the planet into the separate continents scattered across the surface. Many thought Iaerk had been lost because it was never a very powerful or very large realm to begin with, and it had always been a difficult place to live. It was always extremely hot. There was not much in the way of plant life or animal life. The people there had a natural constitution to survive in the heat. But sailors and travelling merchants and things like that have come from the continent to say that they have, in fact, they survived through the attacks of the elemental titans, and their little island was the last standing place, the site of the last fight between the Overgod, Lord Ryan, in his material form, and the Fire Titan Krakus. And that final fight, whilst the Overgod was victorious and was able to banish Krakus back to the elemental plane of fire, in doing so, he split the planet. He had to exert every ounce of his power that he could in order to overcome the defenses and strength of Krakus, and split the planet in two, straight through the middle of Iaerk. The Iaerkians somehow survived that. They're a little unsure as to how, but they are surviving, and they continue to survive against all odds in a place that, from the stories that have been shared, sounds unbelievable. Is stories of it raining ash, of there being just fires just burning on the landscapes, just there being no water, no plant life. It's just endless barren sand wasteland, which to most people sounds unrealistic as what is actually there. There has to be some, in order for life to be sustained. People assume that the stories have been exaggerated. After the reconnection of Iaerk with the wider world, they started arranging for trips, visits to Iaerk to explore their island and investigate the crack that was left behind from the Overgod. They started off small, not many people. It took a while for it to get rolling, but it wasn't long before it became of interest to most people in the world. It's of the four gods that were killed, it's the only one they know the actual, of the four elemental titans that were killed, it's the only one that the location has been exactly identified. And the one that has left the biggest scar on the planet. So, having heard the tales of Iaerk and it generating your curiosity, Doldar, Roland, I've fucking written that name wrong, Aurelius, and Aluran, you guys have travelled to the port city Iaerk in the hopes of purchasing a ticket to visit the split in the world. You've done so successfully and have been given directions to a particular harbour in the port. You start making your way there. You notice that there are quite a few people heading in that direction. By the time you get to the harbour, you're in a group of about 30 or 40 people, each of them holding tickets. Most of the races are like normal races, representative of the population. You have dragonborns and humans, tieflings. Nothing particularly stands out apart from one individual who looks slightly out of place. In fact, they look human, but their skin is slightly tinted red. But aside from that, they stand out from the other humans. But within the mix of races there, they're not that odd. You come to the harbour and you find there waiting for you a ship. It's quite a large ship, sort of a galley. It's got two sails. Weirdly, it has across the outside of the ship It doesn't seem to have wood. It seems to have some sort of thin, grey-coloured membrane of sorts. Some sort of weird covering that covers the side of the ship you're on, and you can see no name on the ship. There's a what they call the boarding ramp, whatever it's fucking called.
Plank.
It's not a plank.
Bit
A
of
plank is a different thing entirely. A boarding ramp is run out, and you watch as a very large, muscular human, very dark hair, dark eyes. He's about 6'5" tall. He's got a very loose-fitting hempen shirt on. That's in white. That's drastically white.
It's totally blue.
You've definitely got him because he is a very, very dark shade of red, almost like the colour dried blood goes before it starts going brown, fitting into that very browny red colour. Sort of looks over at you all, down at you all. I'm Captain Fallon. Come up the ramp one at a time, present your ticket. If it's valid, we'll let you on. If it's not, you're going in the ocean. Stands back. There's a little bit of queue, some pushing and shoving, but eventually everyone files on. No one's tickets are invalid. Everyone's tickets are fine.
The sun's going over, but that.
Pickpocket the ticket from the person.
You're all put on the boat. You're all shown to shared rooms of sort. Each room has got 5 beds in it. No particular order. None of the rooms are any better than anyone. It's literally just you got on first. You go to the end one. There are again running and sort of preparing the ship for sail. There's about a dozen or so other humans. All in varying shades of red, all wearing the same loose-fitting hempen shirt, all dark hair, dark eyes. The only person who isn't shown below deck, and I would say you probably will notice, doesn't provide a ticket, is the slightly red tinted skinned human who joined the group quite close to the harbour. They've just walked on, shaken hands with the captain and gone a step, stood over, out of the way, but on the deck. They've not been forced down below like everyone else has been sort of pointed down and said, "You're going down there." Ship is ready, prepared to sail, and sets off. After they finish preparation, they do allow people back up on deck. There is enough space. They just wanted you out of the way whilst they prepare for sailing. You get up on deck. There's a very light breeze, and strikes you all as odd because there are no oars on the ship. There's a very light breeze, but the sails seem to be filled quite heavily with air, and the ship is moving much faster than it should be. It is moving faster than any other ship coming in or out of the harbour is. And what would normally take sort of 10-15 minutes as you sailed out on the ship for the harbour to disappear, on the ship it disappears in about 3 or 4. Travelling out at quite some speed. Yeah. Just flames out the back.
Powered by Dragon Ball.
That stage is some sort of fire
Excuse me.
No.
That's right, they're drinking rum.
I thought you said you were drinking rum. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm drinking rum. What?
Straight rum.
Sorry,
That's all it
what?
is. It's a big bottle of rum. The journey passes mostly without incidents. There's a couple of people who annoy the crew members, and the response is the crew members literally stab and hit them. They don't kill anyone, but it's clear that it's made very clear that when they ask you to do something, it's better to do it. They are more numerous than.
So we've actually seen people just get stabbed.
Not like full on proper. It's
Only a small stab.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say stab.
Only
It'd be
part way
more
into
of a
the-
like minor
Haven't pierced the
cut.
stomach yet. but-
Yeah. Like a little nick to the face of just like get the fuck out of the way. Stop doing stupid things. Stop pissing me off. I will kill you.
Okay. And did we see any more of these red people?
No. There's only the ones on the ship and the one who boarded.
Yeah, but has that person come back up?
He
didn't
never
go down.
went below.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
That will be, as a note to all of you, you will notice that most of what you're standing around is commoners, the occasional noble. You will get the sense that the 5 of you that are on the ship are definitely the five of the strongest on the ship. It's hard to get a read on the captain and his men. You get the feeling that he's also probably pretty powerful with the confidence in which he is moving around and issuing orders.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that the 5 of you that are now standing on the ship are definitely up there in strength.
Do people seem to notice this?
Yeah. You seem to be given a wide berth by most of the other travellers.
Sorry, I'm in a row with a hood.
Yeah.
Not.
Journey passes without incident. You spend one night on the ship. As you hit the middle of the morning on the second day, you will start to see a dark shape sort of start to take form in front of you. It's harder. It seems to be there's just like this in front is just a dark area which the ship is heading directly towards. As you get closer, it starts to take on more of a form, and you notice that that dark shape is falling in places. B, it is in fact ash that is falling out of the sky, and C, the water is black because it's not actually water. The water just ends at that point. And what you see instead is a sea of ash. Which, as you got to this point, those thin membranes that were on the other side fold out and come down to rest just above the sea level. You will be aware now that there is normal wood underneath them. And as you hit the ash, where the ash and the sea meet, there's a slight bit of turbulence, essentially, and you all get hit by a huge wave of heat. Just immediately, the air jumps by about 30 Celsius.
People passing out, or
A couple of the other travellers just hit the deck. Yeah, they're gone. The crew members seem completely unaffected, as does the other red-skinned individual. You guys are mostly affected. A couple of people who are wearing metallic armor, the armor just turns red briefly.
ow.
Sounds like they're going through re-entry. poor motherfucker wearing his armour is going.
The people that passed out that we intended to.
There's you notice as you go closer, the crew members have brought up vats of water and are just standing there with buckets. And the moment people drop, they're just there going buckets over their face to drop their temperatures immediately. They're used to this. This thing has happened before. It happens every time. So we've got the method. We worked out. No one believes us when we tell them it's really hot.
They also put like a towel on their face. And just walk.
Yeah.
Tell me what you know.
But
You pass out as well.
you will feel coming up from the ash floor. There is movement of air rising upwards, which catches those membranes and keeps it. It doesn't lift it off. It still stays floating on ash, but the heat from the ash travelling upwards has kept the boat at the same level it was before. But yeah, you are now floating across ash, in ash. There is ash everywhere.
In a boat that's powered by something.
Yeah, the boat is powered by a
Probably
thing.
powered by ash.
There was a bard I met once. He said most things like this are powered by pigs.
Pigs in wheels.
Yes. I believed him.
But one person didn't. But that one person didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that one person didn't really talk. So,
Um,
The castle fell out of the sky and everyone died.
yeah.
Wait, what was that grey hooded individual?
Where'd you come from? They can't just be sitting
So-
in the corner.
you travel across the sea for another few hours before you see the island taking shape, which the island also has ash falling on, but it's not as thick around the island. On the island, it actually gets thinner the closer in you get. But the temperature also rises. The further in you get, the temperature just goes up and up and up. Probably the reason why there's less ash, because there's so much more movement, air movement going up than there is coming down. The ash just gets pushed to the edges of the island instead. You sail into the island. You can see it is a mountainous, barren region. There is just mountains and sand is essentially all you can see. You reach in closer and you see a dock, which out from the island they've somehow built a normal wooden dock spreading out that doesn't seem to have any sort of support going down. It's just there, which the ship pulls up to.
Impressive it's not fire.
Your ship's also not on fire. It's made of wood as well. Didn't want that. The boarding ramp is laid out after the boat was moored off. The membranes stay folded out, just to keep the ship above. You notice that they slide. The one closer to the dock slides just underneath it completely, so that it doesn't get clipped. You will see, standing at the end of the dock after you make your way off and down towards the island, there's a cluster of maybe 40 or 50 buildings.
I was going to say, it's going to be tax officials waiting for visas and payment.
No. And right at the end, you see a group of
Tax officials.
9 individuals. There is
The amount of ash in the air, is it like hard to see? Like, is
It's-
it like
it's-
does it obscure vision and that kind of stuff?
It
or?
does not at this point. Prior to getting to the actual island, it was thick and heavy. Sort of why the island just sort of appeared from nowhere.
Does it cause it to be somewhat dim? I want to ask. Is it full bright light or is it just all
It
dim light?
actually is still bright light, but only when you get to the island. Past that, it's essentially darkness. Yeah, there's a group of 9 individuals. There is 4 females and 5 males. Some of them are wearing. A couple of them are wearing plate mail, and they don't seem to be at all bothered by the heat. And their plate mail is not red. A couple of them, some of them are in splint, and one of them is in chainmail. And then one of them is unarmed, and is standing in a grey room. So you get filed out to where they are. They're sort of at the end of the dock, formed a sort of semicircle, in essence preventing passing through. One of the females steps forward. The one's in plate mail. She has under her arms well, in her hands is carrying a greatsword. Again, very dark hair, very dark eyes, and has a sort of skin that's sort of terracotta in tone. She sort of puts her greatsword down and leans on it. Looks over it all. Says, "Greetings, travellers. You have come to see the great chasm, the wound in our world. We are to be your guides, your protectors, and we represent the authority in Iaerk. I am Clarissa Elrook. My companions are Ardina," points to one of the other ones, plate mail. Owen, points to guy in chainmail. Kelvin, Aiden, Donal, Rowena, Muriel, which is all the ones in spent mail, and that is Iozarus. Points to the guy in the grey robe. We also have Brandon, and points to the red-skinned individual who's got off the boat with you, who has been travelling with you the last day and a bit. Is also here to act as your guide and protector. You are to do as we say when we say it. Iaerk is not a very safe place. There are many threats and dangers that we struggle to deal with. Putting it bluntly, we are tougher than many of you are. You are not to leave this group. You are not to go to places we'll tell you not to go to. You are not to attempt to leave our sight. Listen to our rules, and all will be well. Disobey, and we will kill you. Our society has survived because of the protections and the trust we place in each other, in our other Iaerkians. We do not trust others. If we find you someplace you are not supposed to be, we will assume you are spying and a threat, and will thus eliminate that threat. Any questions? No? Good. Then come this way. We are travelling to the city. This is the North Dock. It will take us, we will be there tomorrow. So we'll have one night of camping. I would strongly recommend you stay inside the guards. Welcome to Iaerk.
The weather of this tepid land, is it always like this? Went into the ash that's constantly...
Yeah, the ash just comes down. Yes. Which, you guys are all sweating. The red-skinned people have not got a single bead of sweat on them at all.
Is it like grey, ash, cloudy overhead? You can actually see the sun.
You can actually see the sun. It's around the island, and going a little bit inside is this grey, black ash cloud that seems to just... There doesn't seem to be any ash rising from anywhere. It just seems to perpetually be there.
But it's not around us right now.
You're at the outskirts of it, towards as you start.
As we're moving in, we're moving into it. Okay.
Yeah, you make your way to the island. You come under the direct blast of the sun. You do notice that none of the people who are wearing metallic armor on the ship have got off the ship. They are all still there. As you hit the sun, again you were all sweating before. This goes from I'm sweating because that's really hot to you're all suddenly having like sweat dripping down your bodies. The temperature has risen so quickly in such a short space of time. Not hot enough to be uncomfortable. You get the sense if you'd been wearing metallic armor,
That's probably...
yeah, You might not be wearing metallic armor anymore. You might just be having a second layer of skin that's made of metal. Which is even more impressive that there are some of the Iaerkians who are wearing metallic armor and seem to be moving and acting fine, and they have no signs of sweating at all.
They're just hardcore. Used to it.
Yeah, they're entirely used to the temperature.
Now I've just got that song from School of Rock.
So these studs in my studded leather.
They're hot.
Okay.
So
Yeah, those are hot. They're not like burning through things and stuff. It's if you were to touch it, you'd probably your finger would stick to it. But you can quite clearly see that it's really hot. Don't touch that thing.
Okay.
what about their weapons?
The weapons are actually not too bad. Yeah, the metallic weapons aren't all that bad. Because reasons and things.
Not reasons.
Magical weapons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most people got magic weapons, so that's a reason. There's also there is a reason. I know the reason. you guys don't.
It's the complete opposite of freezing cold.
It's the I know something you don't know.
So, you make your way through what was called the North Dock, the collection of small buildings. There are people working here, sort of, you get the sense this is just, they are purely here to be a collection point where people somehow get to the items.
How many people are now with us? Because there was originally 40, but how many stayed behind on the ship?
You're probably now at a group of about 25.
Wow.
Yeah, all the people with metallic armor didn't, and some of the people who were unarmed just and haven't woken up.
The people that were like sailing the boat and stuff like that didn't kind of go, you might not want to wear metallic armor.
They did when they got on, yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah. When they got on, they said you don't want to be wearing that, but
They were
They
just
did
like,
it
oh
anyway.
yeah, whatever. It can't be.
yeah,
that bad.
it can't be that hot. Fuck you, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And then.
And then they just said,
All right,
okay.
sure. We're not from there or anything. We don't know what you're talking. We don't know what we're talking about at all.
I'll try it then.
You travel for the remainder of the day. You get led through various mountain passes and things. Sand gets everywhere. No matter how much you try, you get sandwiches. There's sand in them. You create food and water.
It's in the
There's
name.
sand in them.
In the bloody
You create
name.
food and water and it's just sand.
Yeah, it's just sand.
Edible sand, but
Delicious,
sand.
but sad.
Yeah. You get led through some mountains which are turned into more rock, but it's still barren wasteland. Think Tatooine, sort of thing. That's essentially what you're walking through. It's just Tatooine. You see no sign, apart from the group you have here, you see no sign of life, plant or animal, and there has been no sign of any water or moisture apart from your own sweat.
how are the guards sort of like front and back, or are they just
They sort of scattered around you.
how wide are we talking?
So you've got at the front, you've got the woman who spoke, the woman called Ardina in Craigmail, and the guy called Owen, who are at the front. The remaining 5 others in Splintmail, and then the 2 you've gained. The 2 you gained, I'm going to think, where are you two going to be standing? Brandon and Iazarus in this group.
I'm probably going to be at the front.
Where are you going to be standing?
It's Lazarus, not Iazarus.
Lazarus. Oh, I thought it was Iazarus. My bad. Lazarus. Cool. That's a lot easier to pronounce.
That is a lot easier to pronounce.
That is, yeah. I will just modify that. That's fine.
If you've been saying the name previously, I just haven't clocked on at all because it wasn't saying it properly.
He
Yeah.
said it. I only said it once.
Okay, stand back.
You're at the back. Cool. So. 35, 3, 2, 3 disappears. So.
You decide to go with whichever side needs someone.
Yeah,
most.
yeah, you'll fill in a gap on the side. There'll be 3 at the front. They'll be walking sort of 10 feet or so apart. So you've got space to. There's enough space for the group, but you're very much. This isn't they're going to try and herd cats. This is you are staying inside this box that we are forming.
Yeah,
with
it
our
was
bodies.
more the are we just all walking along shoulder to shoulder here?
Yeah, no, you have space to. It's a loose group.
Cool.
But there is very much an obvious stay inside this box.
At some point during that, I'll just walk off to a sort of a bit more space and sort of let my hood fall forwards, and I'll start muttering to myself. I'm going to talk to my familiar, my little pseudo dragon.
What?
I have a pseudo dragon. He lives inside my robe. So cool.
So you just look like you're talking to yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I've just got my it's just like let this fall down.
Now,
And
the
I'm
fact
just
that you
talking.
said you had an animal in your robe, I feel like it should just be like a rat or something.
It's roast rat now.
Or a snake.
Yeah,
That
you
might be better.
travel for the remainder of the day. They do provide you with water, which they seem on the way up. They pick up more vats of water and make sure everyone is well watered. Which is impressive that they are able to carry it, to say to say the least. But it is carried. You hit the end of the day, they start setting up a camp. They don't light a fire because it is unnecessary. They sort of mark out a ring, as it were, a circle, and the Clarissa indicates that this is where we're camping. Stay inside the circle, and they.
Glad I'm not York.
The Iaerkians form a sort of a ring. They will split into groups to patrol the outside whilst taking rests. But the night will pass without incident.
I'm going to ask one of them whilst they're on guard.
Mhm.
What is it you're protecting us from?
Anything that comes,
Like what?
many things live here still.
Interesting.
They're just-
I was under the impression that nothing lived here.
only the toughest things survived. Therefore, they are that much deadlier.
What kind of things?
All sorts of things. I don't have a book of every creature that exists on this island.
Not the normal ones.
If it's not human, or one of the group behind me, we kill it. Because it's probably a threat.
Deformed animal.
Don't be shaken in front of me.
Yeah, basically.
Accidentally dead druid.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be sick. Just go back to your normal form.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Depends what animal turns into, whether or not the power will kill it.
Just like, what kind of animals are you
True.
So you're not talking normal animals, okay.
Yeah, you get to look at the area. Anything that lives here is not normal by any standard. If you see a bear here,
It's probably red.
there's something really weird about that bear. there's no food and there's no water. How the hell is it alive? Sort of thing.
I'm thinking there's like a massive population of purple worms or something. They just eat shit. Like, floor.
So, morning will come. As you guys are getting sorted and breaking camp, you will notice there is some feverish discussion between Clarissa and almost all the rest of the guards, because one of them is not there anymore.
I'll try and listen into what they're talking about.
There's also, look around, you'll notice you are missing 2 faces from the group.
Just the faces.
I was just about to say, what?
Two people
Sure.
are also missing.
So, yeah, can I try and overhear what they're saying?
That's fine. They're not being particularly quiet about
Okay.
it. You can wander over, and Brandon and Lazarus, you are privy to the conversation as well. So
No one heard them during the night.
no one's heard a thing. Essentially, the conversation is along the lines of, "Okay, they've gone.
But weren't people on watch?
Yes, there were people on watch. Yes."
Only they asked if anyone else is
Yeah,
good.
just walk over. Just
How wide was
my
the
head
camp, by the
down,
way?
tap my suit broken out.
Probably like 30 foot in diameter. That'll probably be enough to get everyone in. It was pretty close knit.
Blind sight.
Yeah, and nothing gets in.
And also, while sleeping, I have a 19 percent.
What?
Um,
Damn.
but yeah, but it's the Kelvin is missing, one of the guards, and two of the travellers. They don't know where they've gone or what's happened, and there's no signs anywhere of what they've done.
I was going to say, can I look sort of
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any signs of anything.
And they never mentioned anything about leaving.
No.
How far have you looked?
I'm about to send out Dono and Marina to investigate.
Go with
Kelvin was on the last watch, so
we need any more than that. If there's something that's taking people without anyone being aware, surely we need more than just two.
they will be fine.
Who was with him
They're
on
not
the
going
watch?
far.
Who was with him on the last watch?
Would have been Muriel,
Who is standing there?
who is standing there, yeah, and I didn't see a thing. Although they didn't light a fire, and they are all humans.
Didn't
But-
hear anything though either.
They didn't hear anything. No, just completely unaware. Let's have the four non-Iaerkians make an insight check, because I will give some information.
19.
That's like
18.
That's plus 9.
Not enough.
18.
10.
19.
19. Reliable talent.
Yeah.
Frickin' reliable time.
You will all get the sense that they're not overly concerned about it, because they're concerned, but it's not the first time that they've had, because it's not the first time they've had a guard disappear on one of the trips. It's not the first time they've had some of their people just disappear.
And
It is a common reoccurrence.
okay.
And the reason why they're only sending two is because they have an idea of where they're going to look, or what they're going to find,
Yeah.
and the areas in which to look to find it. And it takes about 5 minutes for Dono and Rowena to return, and
But while they've gone, can I just say enter guards gone missing on Muriel's watch before?
I'm
Yes.
assuming he's standing there?
Yeah.
she
sorry.
is standing there. Yes, they have. The guards have gone missing on all of our watches before.
So do I know why it is it's happened?
What you are aware of is that occasionally, whilst travelling across the country, people are taken and just disappear almost without trace. Almost, because they are eventually found, and it's the same thing that is found right now by Dono and Rowena, who will
The
lead.
pseudo dragon.
Yeah, who will lead Clarissa over, and because you guys have expressed an interest, will allow you to follow. You will find what remains of Kelvin and the two travellers, and they have been completely, what's the word? Completely drained of every single fluid in their body.
So it's just a husk.
Just a husk. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Right. They look like they're in.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't hear screaming.
Nope.
But it looks like they were in pain while they went through this process.
Yep.
Is there any obvious entry wound marking?
Make a. If anyone wants to look, make medicine checks.
We might do an arcana check to see
17.
if it's toxins.
14.
What you two know about it is this has been happening for a few months, but no one has been able to work out what the hell is causing it.
17.
It's not any known creature that they are aware of. 17. There are a couple of puncture wounds.
On the neck?
No, they've got a wound in each wrist.
Okay.
They have a wound in the thighs, both thighs, and they have a wound in the center of the forehead.
Okay.
Which are all just like circular puncture holes.
Without really understanding.
I can tell you right
Nope.
now that none of you have any
Yeah.
idea what this is.
Yeah, when I insighted, it didn't look like they were holding back anything or...
No. It's just it's happened before. They don't know what's causing it. They don't know how it does it so quietly, and
there are no tracks
there,
around.
there are nothing leaves a track. There is no trace except they eventually find the body completely devoid of fluid.
How far from the camp was it?
It's only about sort of like 50, 60 feet or so. Oh no, it would be about 100, 150, 160.
Still pretty close.
We should probably not show the other travellers.
That is why the bodies were not taken back. Yes.
It was only guards that were taken, not.
No, and two.
And two
guard,
travellers.
two travellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which has happened on other journeys as well. It only happens at night though. Is one thing that it only seems to happen when people are camped out overnight.
Is there a reason you don't like to fire?
Fire attracts things.
Well, it seems like no fire also attracts them.
Not as much.
This is a new thing. There are many other things that would be attracted to a fire. Once we've worked out what this is, we can deal with it.
Is the temperature still really high at night, or is it?
Yeah.
Really
Also,
cold?
the temperature is still high at night as well.
Not as high, but...
But
Not as high, yeah, but you're still talking during the day. You're sort of hitting like 60, 70, and at night it maybe drops to 40. So,
I'm gonna do like a ritual over them, just sort of lay their souls to rest. And
yeah. You're,
is there anything else, like, while I'm checking the guard for like all these puncture marks, is there anything on him that would give me more insight into what's going on? Like, is there any notes he's got? Like,
there's not carrying anything at all. It's strange. They have no coinage on them at all.
okay.
Absolutely no coinage on them. The guards, the guard doesn't. The travellers do.
I'm not going to point.
Yeah, but it's strange in the fact that they actually do not have anything. It's just they have checks stat block. A long sword and short sword, and split mail, and a heavy crossbow.
You know what about leading to or from?
None leading to or from at all.
It's probably a flying creature.
Yeah,
So it's probably a flying creature.
that is our submission, but we don't know of anything that flies in Iaerk.
Sorry, I had to have some references. Any kind of animals here. You did.
are you pointing to?
I'm just saying you just know.
You'll get led back to the group, sort of set up camp, break camp, and start to set off. There'll be one less person at the front. The guy in the plate mail will step aside and fill the gap in the formation now. You travel across for another sort of 4 or so hours. Before you see, spread out in front of you.
So are we well in the ash now?
Well, outside the ash. The ash is on the outside of the island. The closer into the middle you get, the less ash there is.
Liam's worth mentioning is the huge updrafts caused by the heat on the main island cause the ash to be pushed out to the sides, which is why it's so heavy on the edges.
Right. Okay.
In twisted world logic.
There is a lot of air movement upwards. The closer into the island you get, or the more into the centre you get. But what you come to, going forward, you see emerging in front of you a black structure of some sort. Seems to weirdly have at the either end, it just seems to stop. Doesn't seem to have a reason. Where it just stops, and you can see that's heading directly towards you, and then a little bit slightly over to the east, you can see another black structure, which you can, because you start making out to be a wall. But there is weirdly there's a gap right in the middle between them. And through that, you can see scattering of buildings, sort of laid out over some sort of bridge or something like that. But there's just this very strange gap in between them. But as you make your way closer, you can see there are walls. You're heading towards the gatehouse to the one on the western side. There is about 20 or so guards on top. All in the splint mail, all look big and bulky like the ones around you. You realise the reason why the wall just ends and doesn't join all the way up is there is the island you're walking on ends. It just stops and just heads into a straight drop down. Which is also at this point you get closer, you realise that bridge that you could see crosses over a crevasse that's about 300 feet in diameter. And they have this forked bridge coming from the other side of the walls that meets at this point and goes across the other side of this crevasse. And again,
Can we see the bottom?
if you peer over the edge, you can indeed. Well, you can't see the bottom. Instead, you can see red and orange and yellow glowing magma, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of miles down. You can just see glowing briefly at the very bottom. And
This planet's fucking huge.
oh yeah, I was thinking circumference, not center. Whatever, thousands of miles down. That's fine. That's more like it. And you can see that the edge that you're standing on and looking down is almost completely sheer. Doesn't seem to. It's not been brought down by weathering or passage of time. It looks, if you were to examine it to like a sword wound, it looks like something has cut through and just cleaved it, cleanly cleaved it through. So you're allowed a few moments to look over and look down this huge gap before you get ushered towards the gatehouse. They pass you through the gatehouse, start leading you on. On the other side, there is about 20 or so buildings before you hit. You can see that the edge of the land curves around this section, and they've actually managed to pick that they've set a settlement in the in essentially what would be an alcove once you've built that wall across, so it's becoming easy to defend. You've got an idea of what you're looking at. It becomes an easy to defend settlement with as little spent as possible, little resources as spent as possible. So you're led out over onto the bridge. You get shown a couple of buildings of interest. You get shown a building that's got it's a housing building that looks slightly bigger than the rest. You do notice that pretty much every building is more or less the same size. But you get led to this one building where Clarissa says, "This is the Iaerk house. The Iaerks are the ruling family of Iaerk. It is my father who currently is in charge. We have a safe way of deciding the next ruler, though, in the fact that in order to become one, you must first acquire the approval of the people. And at any point, should my father act in a way that they consider counter to Iaerk's livelihood and longevity, he would be expelled and removed as a ruler. And a new person would be elected in his place. From there, you get led across to heading further and further into the bridge, onto the bridge, and you get
How wide is the bridge?
It's about 100 feet wide. 300 feet long, 100 feet wide. Which you get shown all the buildings are made out of black stone. You get
Is
shown
it obsidian?
it's just a black stone of some sort. It's not obsidian. Some sort of black stone. Which, interesting enough, it looks like it's been burnt. That's what it looks like. It looks like a stone that has been scorched and burnt in some way. But it's across all of their buildings, and they do not make use of wood.
Right.
Yeah. You get shown to another building that has various steeples coming up onto it, and you can see sort of in the ground in front of it there are four training dummies, and you can see 4 individuals are going through various carters and strikes against these dummies and moving through various fluid movements. This is our monastery. This is where every child, once they're of the age to stand and fight, is sent for training. And they are sent through the various paths of hand-to-hand combat and trained in the various uses of weaponry. You do not survive here long if you are unable to defend yourself.
So, is it safe to say that no one in this town, apart from children, are commoners?
Yeah, in fact, even the children look tough. Like, you it's safe to say the children are as tough as commoners, and everyone else is tougher.
And there's magic users? Or is it just not common?
You haven't. Oh, is that a question you're asking?
Yeah.
We have mages. We have wizards and sorcerers, and we also have priests. She will point at Olwyn. Is it Olwyn? Yes. Olwyn will say. Olwyn is a priest. Though we do not worship gods. The gods, a long time ago, forsake us. So. Hmm?
Reason why we don't?
Probably.
Oh, sorry, that's because of that. Sorry, it was that cause that.
Yeah.
Just that one god, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. The gods forsake us and then destroyed where we lived. We do not feel the worthy of our worship. Instead, we worship the land and the concepts behind various things instead.
That's good to look after. Shame it's not much of it there. Really.
There's plenty here for us to live on. If you need to a little bit further, you come to there's a sort of section on the edge of the bridge that's fenced off, which steps up and opens the gate and indicates for you to walk through, which goes. You do notice, having walked along, the edges of the bridge had no like railings. It is a flat bridge, the whole way along is just a sheer drop.
If you like leaned over the side, how warm is it?
It is warm. You put your head over there, you can feel heat rising very heavily. You come to this fenced off section, which does have across the edge of the bridge, the fence carries the whole way around. So now she shepherds you all in there and shuts the gates and steps in behind you, which is wide enough. Essentially it's a viewing point to look down and not have to worry about falling. And it's wide enough for the remaining 23 people to, if they wish to, get to the edge and look over. And it is a jaw-dropping view. You are looking across a split through the land that, where looking straight forwards, looking along it, goes further than you can see. And you can see it goes through the ocean. You can see the edge of the island. You can see the ocean where even the ocean itself, when the Overgod cut, was split. So you can just see the ocean just has a drop. It's not running down into the. It's not running down into the. It just the water itself just stops. And that carries on past the island as far as you can see in both directions. And then down below, being directly over the top of it now, you can see the flows of magma, lava, and various things, rocks falling, moving softly through down below. So, I just want to check where everyone is in this view. Who is at the edge looking over? Sure. Cool.
Yes.
You're looking over?
I know the view. I don't.
Yeah,
need to
you're
see
not
it.
looking over. I assumed you're not. I'm assuming
No, he's not.
Lazarus isn't.
Yeah.
And you're not. Cool. So, if you're standing away, so you're just viewing. Cool.
I mean, I'm more worried about flying creatures.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Right.
Which you haven't seen any. There's been no birds or anything flying around.
No, but I'll be looking up. From
Yeah, that's cool.
I imagine there hasn't been any wildlife.
Hmm?
I imagine there hasn't been any
Like-
wildlife.
No, yeah, you've seen no wildlife at all.
Yeah.
So, three of you looking over, you're watching out, exploring, when suddenly out of the side of the chasm, there's an explosion of fire and flame, and a gap that's about 40 foot wide blasts out. Immediately afterwards, there's a wave of heat that rushes up to the surface. I would like everybody to please make a Constitution saving throw. Apart from you three automatically pass it.
Oh.
Oh, I did.
Because this is burning white, red hot heat that washes through your face.
Wow, that fucking stunk.
I really did. Not high enough.
I got 14.
23?
No.
Enough, you say.
No, I was talking to him.
You got 23, you
Yeah.
got a 9, and you got a 13. Cool. Roland, you have failed. The
Yeah.
other two have passed.
Yeah, can I guess that?
Come back to you.
Actually, I was sure I thought he might have failed as well. I thought
Yes,
he might
I
have
was thinking it might have been higher than 13.
I didn't propose yet, actually. I only have +1 combat.
Roland, you're going to take. Roland, you're going to take 33 points of fire damage.
Oh.
Doldar, Aurelius, and Aluran, you're going to take 16 points of fire damage. And then Lazarus and Brandon, you're going to take 8 points of fire damage.
Wait, but also passing me again.
Plus fire resistance.
Alright, okay.
Was it at 16?
16, yeah.
I still got my temporary hit points.
There is a burning white hot heat that just washes over you. Which as you stagger back from the edge, every other traveller has turned to dust.
What?
Just immediately,
Yeah. Oops.
they're not there anymore. They've immediately vaporized.
Whoa.
I'm
So earlier when you were saying, yeah, we look the most hardcore, they're just like,
Oh yeah.
Well, let's face it.
Well,
he said they're commoners or nobles.
yeah.
33 damage, or even 60,
Yeah.
are still taking out every single one of them.
I assume their belongings and everything that was on them.
Eviscerate
Everything, all of it, they are just scatterings of dust. As you three recoil and stagger back, in fact, to be fair, even all of you recoil a little bit, even the Iaerkians, because that hurt, that hit and it hurt. As you're gathering your senses, floating onto the platform come write it down, hang on. A total of 7 beings made of fire.
Sorry, what happened?
I
Sorry,
really wish I'd taken the Ring of Fire Elemental. I was looking at it.
Come floating onto the platform where you are. They pass through the railings and land where you are. Comes a total of 7 beings made of fire.
So it begins.
3 of which are wearing plate. I think it's plate.
I really wish I got the Ring of Fire.
Just want to double check that because I've got to bring that
I'm
stat.
sure we're going to have.
Yeah.
I'll have everyone on initiative.
Yeah.
please.
Oh, I really wish I had the legendary item of the Ring of Fire Elemental at this point.
Wow, well, thank God for that advantage.
Oh, nice.
That's not bad.
Oh my god. Shit, I hate fucking but I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
That's fine. You still have a whole bunch of guards with you right now.
Yes,
Right now is the important part there.
Yeah. So there are 7 beings. 4 of them are just roaring infernos of fire. 3 of them are roaring infernos of fire with plate mail and carrying scimitars.
What are the scimitars made of?
Holy shit, so good.
No, they're on fire.
Just flaming scimitars.
No, they're actually normal scimitars. Right. Oh, fuck me, I have so many things on.
Right. Want us to roll for some of them?
That is that one. I actually might have you guys roll for some of them and make use of them. Which is...
I rolled a 2.
Shit, that's high. And we'll have that one, which is in this book.
Spells of concentration. On the druid. Hell of
I cast stab.
a secret note.
He's about to cast Flying Stab. Flying Stab. Flying Stab.
Right, so I have for you guys, there's how many things we've got? 4 of those, that and that.
Are we playing guards as well?
I might give you guards to play as well, just to make things simpler.
Have sheets?
I do not. They all have veteran stats.
Cool.
The guards do.
So veteran players can play that because I haven't.
No idea.
You get the name cards that we had earlier.
Yeah, you get their names, but they're just using vet stats.
Is that in the
It's
monster manual?
Monster manual. Yeah.
I don't have
So who wants bog standard?
How many are there?
There's 4. They're the standard. They're the standard thing for Iaerkians.
Yeah. Okay. 2 each.
Stand Iaerkian guards as veterans.
Yes. Yeah. There's 4. There's 4 of them. There's a total of 7 creatures. So I'll keep 1 or 7 guards. I'll keep 1. You guys can have 1 each. But I'll be able to.
Yeah, sure.
Some of them I'll be able to pass out the actual stat block to. But I need the monster manual.
Just one that's not complicated.
Take a veteran.
You are a veteran. That's not
Yeah,
complicated.
veteran.
They're just
Do you know how I'll
58 hit points. Want to write down?
Cool.
17 AC. 30 foot speed.
we
Plus,
did need some paper.
they have
We did need
a
to
long
take
sword,
that.
a short. What are they armed with?
Long sword and a short sword.
So okay, so no heavy crossbow. Okay, so plus 5.
Well,
to
they
hit.
do have a heavy crossbow, but don't worry about it because
Okay.
they're going to get in combat.
Plus 5 to hit for their long sword or short sword. Plus 3 damage. And they have multi attack. Oh, it can. So its multi attack is it can make 2 long sword attacks, and then if its short sword is also drawn, it can make a short sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long sword.
Sure. They so you guys are aware, those 4 will fight to the death. They won't flee. They will fight until.
Easy.
Plus 5 to hit. Plus 3.
Cool, so...
Who else did you have to hand out?
I'll use yours.
Also
I don't
have.
know.
Let me get 2 up on my phone. I think. There is Owen the War Priest.
I'll take that.
So that's
Well, no, I have one long sword and one short sword.
Yeah, that really damn.
Oh yeah.
who's taking vets? Who's got vets? And
Jordan,
Is there an extra one? Yeah, I'll take it.
yeah, there's 4 vets total to take out.
Yeah,
so very good.
Cool. So then you want to take the War Priest.
1d8.
Yeah.
Do you have your?
No, I don't have my bow.
Look it up on TD Beyond because
What?
That's-
Warfree.
it's a spellcaster. It's a priest. It's a War Priest.
Yeah, cool. Right, I was just checking that
Yeah.
was actually the.
Yeah. They're using this War Priest stat block. So then you've got Clarissa,
Who is the what?
who is the one who's been in charge,
Yeah, no, this is
who's a champion. Or you can use Ardina,
yeah.
who is a warlord.
We're a champion.
They're in Bolos.
Ah, right. That's why I can't find any monster.
Yes.
You can just
Um,
put monsters.
Both the champion and the warlord are in Bolos.
I'm on the up.
Who's taking whose names?
It doesn't. We'll work it out later.
Doesn't really matter. As long as there's 4 veterans.
Yeah, as long as there's 4 vets.
Oh, you want us to roll initiative and veterans then?
Oh, shit,
I think what I'll do.
Or are you just going to do it all
One of you roll initiative, and that will be all of your vet initiatives. Just
Oh,
type
what's
it.
their initiative bonus?
We rolled a 6.
Plus something. Plus
8.
1. Plus 1.
Cool.
I think.
Oh, wait, was that for you?
I was rolling
Yeah,
that.
sure. I'll be the warlord. Why not?
Because I've not done
Cool.
that.
Okay, we got a.
I've not. Oh wait, you were rolling for all of things. Yeah, I was rolling just for me.
So yes, our veterans have 10.
Cool. Vets have 10.
That's decent.
Awesome. I get Clarissa.
I'm
That
not
makes me
taking
happy.
because of this.
I get the important person.
Yeah. Let's face it, that's how they survive.
Yeah.
Can I have a paper?
Also, so again, John, for Ardena, she will fight to the death unless she is aware that Clarissa is going to die. In which case, she'll move to make sure that Clarissa gets out.
Okay.
Clarissa is.
I got to roll the initiative now.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
Right.
So what did you roll for the veteran initiative?
I didn't. I was rolling for myself.
Oh, 10. Plus 1 or?
It's
It's 10.
it's
Okay.
9
9 plus 10.
Anyone get above 20?
Yes, 24.
24. I put my piece of paper away. Fabulous. And
21.
21. Cool. 20 to 15.
20, 16.
20, 16. Damn,
Some.
What would my character know about what we're fighting?
you have never seen these before in your life.
Oh, fair enough. I wasn't sure if it was something that happened.
No, this is a new thing. This has never happened. This is weird.
So I wouldn't know if how badly they will burn me if I attempt to hit them.
Probably not. No, you've never been sent after flame beings. You were 20. You were 16. No, someone was 16.
21.
You were 21. You were 16. There we go. Cool. Just trying to get it in my head. You'll get 15 to 10. 12.
14.
Veterans are 10.
Cool. Five, 10 to 5.
5 for Warlord.
Right for Warlord.
Sorry, 6 for War Priest.
Cool. Warlord is Ardina. War Priest is Paul Bowen.
What did Clarissa get?
Clarissa got 17. Right, so I should have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Write down the rest.
16.
Yep, I now have you in the right place, so I just didn't write your name down. Cool. So, 3 burning fire beings with plate mail, 4 without. Lazarus, you are up first.
Right, let's start with
Cool.
Just quickly as well, whereabouts are we in conjunction?
So,
Just so
the 3 of you that were looking over the
Okay,
edge,
yeah.
you right now have got 7 things next to you.
Like in front of us, behind us.
Next to.
Next
Like, because you were at the edge, they've flown up, gone through the railings, and landed next to you.
How far away am
The rest of you are going to be like sort of 15, 20 or so feet.
Okay, cool.
So you, it's not very big. The vets are, and the other Iarkans are maybe 30 feet back at the most, but everyone is close enough to get within that range. Yep.
so there's 7 from total,
Mm-hmm.
3 with plate mail,
Yep.
4 without.
Yep.
And they just look like flaming.
Flaming beings of death.
Flaming beings of death.
I mean, they were literally. To be fair, they were pre whatever the word is. Whatever. Prior to their appearance, 23 people just turned to ash.
Yes.
Proceeded.
No, there is a word I'm looking for, but it's not.
Oh, they'd be mediated.
Let's start by using banishment.
Good. Which one are you using banishment on?
I'll go for one of the plate mail guys.
Awesome.
So he
Who
makes
you-
a wisdom save.
Charisma save.
Wisdom save?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it is a wisdom save.
Yep. That is a 5. It's
Cool, that's
Yes.
that's
One
less
of
than
those.
17.
Yep. One of them out of existence just immediately disappears.
Right, so,
You might want to start counting down rounds.
yeah, because that needs to last for, is it 10 rounds, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then either it appears again, or it stays on.
Yeah.
Are you going to move at all, Lazarus?
No, I'm quite happy where I am. Maybe
Cool.
I'll take a step back, actually.
Yeah. Step back. Yeah. That's cool.
Or 2. Yeah.
You'll back up
There's
like
nothing behind me, is there now?
apart from the fence.
Apart from that, yeah.
Yeah. The fence and the rest of the Iaerkians.
Right.
Cool. Brandon.
I am going to run up to the one.
Yep.
I'm going to say, so there's 2 in plate mail and 3.
2 left in
4
plate mail and 4 on just fiery death.
And they've all got scimitars.
The plate mail ones have scimitars. The fiery death ones don't. They're all
Oh.
fiery death, but
I'm going to hit a plate mail one.
yeah, go for it.
So,
Right.
yeah. That's a 19.
That does hit.
So that's 1d8.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 7 plus 7, so 14.
14 damage. Nice. It's your first set. Now try to wipe it down.
Yep. And second one.
Second attack.
That's a 21.
That hits.
And that's another 14.
Awesome.
And then I'm just going to punch it.
Go for it. Make an attack.
Punching fire.
Yeah,
I
I've got,
love
I've
that.
got
It's so funny. You just like, yeah, I'm just gonna.
that's a 19.
Cool. That will hit.
So it's a D8 as well, I think, because I'm level.
Yep. Yeah, all your things are DX.
It's another 7 plus 6. This time it's only 13.
Cool. Only 13.
Yeah. You're 22 there.
Yeah.
No, I've got the insignia of the dragon, which gives me +1 to all other stuff.
Cool.
It's
So,
useful.
Yeah.
yeah, Brandon has just stepped forward and just boosh, boosh, boosh. Done some damage. Dolda.
So they're.
I forgot that I need more than 6.
I'm going to Misty Step
Yep.
away from
Yep.
like the full distance.
That's cool. So you're over by the fence again now.
Can I cast a cantrip?
Yes. Yeah, cantrip is what you did last.
I'm gonna do Toll the Dead, which is a wisdom saving throw.
Yep. And anyone in particular?
The one he's punching.
Yes. That makes sense.
Oh, did anything happen to me when I hit them?
No.
Okay, cool.
Wisdom save. That is a 16.
Ooh, exactly what it needed.
There you go. It passes that save then.
Does indeed.
Nothing happens. There's a bell and it just shakes its head. Because it actually does have a head. The ones at Great Bell look strangely bipedal. Cool. Right. That's you done, yes?
Yeah, that's me.
Cool. It is now the fire elemental's turn.
Oh shit!
I'm just trying to work out.
What did you get? What did he have?
I had 16.
And what did Nathan get?
20.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so even that, so it means they've got above 17. Or have
So,
very much better reactions than
4 fire elementals now have 2 targets.
Oh, that's not going well.
So is everything attacking this turn? Is this everything attacking this turn?
No, it's just the elementals. Because the things in Plate Mail are completely different. So, Aurelius and Roland, the 4 fire elementals float towards you guys, 2 to each of you. So Aurelius, they are making, just burning everything, or trying to touch you with its hands. The first one, I think that's going to miss. The highest of that was an 11. Yeah, cool. The second one gets an 18 and a 25.
Fucking.
You're going to take.
Ooh.
Yeah. 24 points of fire damage, and your shirt catches fire.
That ain't no fun.
Okay, someone saves the fashionable shirt, please.
Otherwise, you have to play topless.
Roland, 2 are coming against you. The first one makes 2 attacks against you. One of them's a nat 1.
Yeah. You
Another one is a 22.
That is.
And then the second one, I'm assuming a 9 misses.
Yeah, that misses.
So only one of them will hit you. We'll do 9 points of fire damage.
Oh, that's not bad.
And your robe catches fire.
Yeah, of course it does.
Fucked up. Away from my robes.
Next up is the fire elementals in plate armor.
You rolled well, didn't you?
I rolled really well.
Against anything.
Oh, how did the one I hit look at all injured?
I mean, it recoiled from the attack, so it doesn't look like it's been hurt much yet. Those 3 though aren't going for you 2. Sorry, 2. Those 2 aren't going for you 2. They are going to float forward straight at Carissa, actually. So if you 2 wish, you have opportunity attacks.
Yes.
Blank one as well.
Right.
I was hitting one.
You would get one.
I wasn't
as
only
well.
2 left.
I've rolled now.
Because he banished one.
Yes, you did banish one. Yeah. So yeah, you will get one as well.
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's too late to roll.
The fact that I took Warcaster, I can use a spell.
That's
Yeah.
much less likely to
Yeah,
hit.
any spell.
20 total.
Any spell? Yeah, I think
Casting time of 1 Okay.
Fortunately, I only got a 16 this time.
That misses. That
Yeah.
hits the plate mail and does no damage.
20 total.
Does hit.
For a total of so 15. No, 13 points of damage. Sorry, I can't maths.
13, no problem. Is that your battle axe you bring down into it, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Cool, yeah, I'll use my reaction to cast poison spray at one.
Sabotage that?
15.
It's
Con.
con save.
Right, it gets a 13.
Ooh, it failed, yeah, what did you try?
But it does no damage.
Oh.
Because it's a thing
Fire.
made of fire, it's
Yes.
unaffected by poison.
Yeah, just checking it out.
Well, also, that you should do 3d12, because you're,
Oh yeah, yeah, it does, yeah.
cool. So you send out the splash of poison, and it just evaporates immediately. Cool. So the two floated forward are going straight for Clarissa. Their scimitars as they travel catch on fire, and they're going to make 3 scimitar attacks each against Clarissa. That does not matter. That is alright. The first one hits once. The second one also no. The second one doesn't hit because she's in plate mail, so only one of them will hit.
Oh, what's the armour of our Iaerk?
Plate.
Splint. They're in splint. They're in
So
splint. So
17.
7 points of slashing damage and 7 fire damage. Total 14 points. Awesome. That is those done. So next up is Clarissa. Also rolled really well. So she's going to pull out her greatsword and make 3 attacks against one of the ones in front of her. She's going to hit twice.
Oh, can I use my legendary actions?
Have you got legendary actions?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
In that case, yes, because that's what that thing can do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't even realise I had to.
To be fair, I also forgot, but yeah, it's because it's a really fun stat block, and I wanted to really drive home the point that these things are powerful. Not that the Iaerkians are fucking tough.
Our allies have legendary.
Yeah.
I thought it was him using one. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
that's
the
what-
fuck?
yeah.
A character? What?
Yeah.
Ardina, the warlord, has legendary actions.
Nice.
So she can start using those going forward. She's got loads of time before it's her turn. I'm just going to finish Clarissa's attack.
Jesus Christ, number of dice I can hit.
Sure.
24 points of damage. No, it would be higher than that. It would be 30 points of damage to the one in front of her. So that one that you were laying into before, Brandon, her greatsword just cleaves through it, and you watch as like arcs of fire come out of the thing, and it seems to shrink and dwindle. It is looking hurt.
How much did she end up doing?
She did 30 damage.
I mean,
That
she'll
was-
command Clarissa to make another attack
Yeah.
with advantage.
Yeah. Cool. That's fucking that is a 30 to hit, I believe.
Right.
You think she's above our level?
Yes!
I can get a 29 without being a crit. Sorry, no, I can get a 31 without being a crit.
10, 19,
I can plus 12.
27 points of damage from that one.
So yeah.
Because again, she cleaves through and leaves it burning and hurt. Aurelius.
So let's say I would like to rage rage.
Alright, at the start of your turn, you take
Shirt damage.
1 point of fire damage.
Oh, take burny damage.
But you're now raging. You have all the benefits that come with your rage.
I will.
Improve
Wow, wow.
passive ability.
Act and hit 2 times.
Yep.
For the nearest flame elemental.
Yep.
Oh god.
That's
So,
a bad.
yeah. So the first attack is through 14.
Double hit.
Nice.
The ones that have no armor. It's the ones left around you.
So that will be 11 points of damage.
Hit plus
So
2.
11. I get plus 3. So the second attack is a 24
That hits.
for 10 points of damage.
High quality
How much?
roll.
Sorry? 10.
10 points of damage.
Awesome. Sorry, I like easy maths.
And here's my bonus action.
You like Robin Hobbs.
And Jordan makes an attack against something with advantage.
I do.
I'm not in range.
You're within 30 feet
Oh.
of me.
No, but I'm not in range of anything.
I thought you were next to one that you were punching.
Yeah, it left and went to
Just move. Although, to be fair, you're probably going to be next to the same one that Aurelius is
Oh,
attacking.
sure.
Yeah, go for it. Make that one attack.
That's a 31.
That hits.
Jesus.
Are we sure? I want to recount.
Unfortunately, I only got a 9 that time damage.
Oh no, 9.
Oh no, only 9
Only
points
9.
damage.
Awesome. Roland,
Uh,
there are 2 fire elementals going around you.
yeah, I see.
Well,
I can do
be
that
a
too!
That would be a water elemental for us to see.
Where's my stick? Fucking hell.
Provide the stick.
Yeah. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Spirit at my location.
Oh, you took that spell. Jesus,
Yeah.
okay. Healing Spirit has been cast.
Since I'm
When
not-
does the healing come into
I don't
play?
know what
At
that
the end of your turn.
1d6 of healing the person underneath it.
It's pretty good in combat. It's broken out of combat.
Yeah, Meryl's kind of ruled on that one throughout combat uses. Every 6 seconds it does 1d6.
So, yeah, basically,
No,
whenever a creature moves into it,
Every
or
time someone moves into
or
it, it does
starts its
1d16.
turn in
to
it,
it.
yeah, 1d6
So-
in
So
it.
it
in,
lasts
out,
for a
in, out,
minute.
in, out, in, out.
Yeah, first
Or
time
you
on
just
the
stand
turn,
there.
Oh.
you can heal everyone in your party 10d6 hit points in a minute.
So you
You
just
just,
stand in it.
you just make a conga line going
Yeah, go
through
What
it.
level is this spell?
So I'm just going to stand
2.
here and just like, yeah.
Oh!
How long does it last?
Second
A minute.
A minute.
It's not. It's pretty good. It's not.
It's pretty good.
You know, it's good in combat, but it's not over the top. When you start casting it out of combat,
Against the dog.
it's just stupid.
So
So
when would I heal? I'm technically starting my turn in it because I cast it on myself.
Yeah, but you didn't
it's
cast
already
it
your
at the
turn.
start of your turn.
That's true.
So
But it is. I think it's also the first time you enter it, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you can move out and back in.
So if
Yeah.
you want to, you can move out and move back in,
But then,
but you're going to get hit if you.
yeah,
do so.
no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this goes in action.
But this is bonus action.
This is a
Yes, you
but
could
then I would
disengage.
kind of focus on that.
Right, let's give it next then.
Yeah, I'm going to pick a next.
And then I might as well then just like cure wounds myself in action, right?
How
Yeah,
close
that's
do you get it
fine.
on?
You can't.
Yeah, because you cast a spell as a bonus action, you can only do a cantrip with your action.
Okay.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
close to death are you?
He doesn't want to be below hit points.
I'll say that.
Gets them back at the start of a turn.
Oh,
Down.
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Legendary
down,
action is really
I'm down
bad.
16
Yeah, I thought-
temporary.
But thinking of legendary resistance.
That might have been it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
really-
I'm sure if the roll to see if they get them back.
Get them back.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I
fair enough.
Chosen really powerful things for a reason.
That worries me. Are we going to level up at all
Either
during
it
this?
is. No.
I will then use my action to cast Primal Savagery. Are you loving these spells now?
Yeah,
The druid spell.
Is it roll to hit?
No. No, it basically makes my you grow fingernails to sharpen, ready to deliver a corrosive attack. Yeah, make a melee spell attack against.
Oh yeah, make an attack against the fire elemental then.
Woo!
Plus 40.
Cool. Does 14 hit?
14 does hit.
Yay!
Has no armor.
Just
a floating ball of flesh.
15, damn, 20.
Acid damage if that does any damage to them.
Oh, that does damage.
Woo! Found damage.
In retaliation, you take 3 points of fire damage because it burns,
Yeah.
which I didn't do against you,
I was
did I?
about to say I didn't take any fire damage.
Oh.
I was
Okay.
gonna give you some more fire damage.
Yeah. You hit twice, right?
I did hit twice.
So that is 14 points of fire damage. Right, Roland is done. Is Ardina using her last legendary action?
Hilarious swing!
Already, so you get to make another
Advantage,
attack.
Burn myself some more.
Yeah.
Right, recklessly, super advantage.
No.
That's
Oh,
a crit.
yes.
That's a nat 20. So,
This is gonna
Oh, you got
be
brutal critical as
yeah.
well.
Oh, this is going to do so much damage.
Another 2d8s.
Yeah.
Like that.
You're rolling, it's 48 rolling, right?
No, I think it's 1d8 for the weapon plus an extra 2 weapon dice, so 3d8s.
Is your brutal critical not gone up to increasing it by 2 at this point?
It has increased it by 2, extra 2 dice.
Yeah, so it's going to be so it's 5d8.
Oh, it'd be 3d8.
Plus the original.
2.
Yeah, because it's
So
1
two for,
plus 2.
Yeah.
That'd be
2
3d8.
for the crit, then 2 for
Oh, so it's 4d8, yeah.
then 2 for your brutal.
Because the brutal critical stacks with
You
the.
have to roll another
Yeah,
d8.
so you roll another D8.
So, yeah, I'll just take the cheesy one.
The cheesy one.
Cheesy one is
I
the
think that's
best.
And the cheesy one was good.
So that was 9.
It's only 4 then, is it?
Yeah, 4,
Only.
yeah, only 10, 15, 22 plus 9. So 31 that's damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Just crack.
Well, that elemental
Take
looks
more
hurt.
fire, yeah.
You take 9 points of fire damage
Nine.
back. But that fire elemental is flickering and looking damaged now, weirdly enough. So now we're going to go to.
Oh wait,
Olwen.
hang on.
No, it's not Olwen.
I
Olwen.
just realised. Did you already use your reaction?
No.
Okay, cool. This uses your reaction, guys. Just so you know.
Okay.
My attack might not have gone then, because I reacted to try and hit someone, didn't I? When they disengaged, when they left.
Shield people.
Whatever.
I think I missed that.
I didn't
There's,
see that.
there's a lot of new funky stuff going on.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So,
It's all fun, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll remember that for future.
Alurin, short up.
Honk.
Yeah, I'll go up to Clarissa plus a person.
Yep.
And dagger.
We do the other guys.
We're doing the other ones.
They will come up next.
The veterans.
They're coming up next.
Well, I missed for that dagger.
This
this
is
is the first round.
Yeah,
Still?
you've been-
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't gone through yet.
Fuck!
Got a lot.
So I will try and attack my other dagger, but hopefully won't get in that one.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
probably will now.
Jesus.
Uh,
So sleep.
that is a 20.
That hit.
Cool.
You're attacking plate mail guys. Are you attacking the one that is like flickering in and out of existence, or the one that looks mostly unhurt?
The one that's flickering in and out.
Okay, cool. Roll.
That was awful.
Eh.
I don't think it's going to matter.
10, 14. 27.
His John highest die was a 2 on a nat 4.
So you stab him with your dagger,
Five.
and the fire dissipates, and the plate mail just clatters to the floor.
Cool.
Vets.
And I take.
Oh right. Oh no, that one doesn't do anything back
Okay.
because of the plate mail.
Cool.
Higher AC, but it doesn't burn you. So veterans. Who had veteran?
Yeah.
Who else did?
Well, I guess.
Jordan, Andrew, you,
There were 4 vets.
and Ivan.
Yeah, I've got one.
So that's going to attack one of the.
Yeah, that's cool. They'll go through and start making their attacks. All of you.
Go make your attacks.
Alright, so.
There'll be 2 long
two.
sword attacks on this one, so they won't have the short
Three.
sword.
I'm having it attack the
3 attacks?
Okay.
Two.
one in plate mail.
Two long swords.
Two attacks for this one because they're only going to have the longsword
Yeah,
out.
you should know which one is which.
And I'm
as
attacking
well.
with the plate now, yeah.
Okay.
So that's a 13 hit.
Which one are you attacking?
Plate mail.
Plate mail. That does not hit plate mail.
What about a 18?
That does hit plate mail.
Okay. So only the 18 hit.
Natural 1, 23.
23 will hit plate mail.
So am I next to 2 of them now at the moment?
7
Or
damage.
Now 1.
Now you're next to 1. Yeah.
Well, this highly capable
7
one
damage.
does minimum damage.
So you get 2 attacks. You get 2 attacks. So
4 damage.
Have they got
Cool.
the short swords out?
No.
No.
So they don't
Okay.
get the-
So let me draw. Which actually doesn't do 7.
It doesn't?
Oh,
No,
okay, I assume
because it's
one
not
hand.
magic.
He missed that.
So it doesn't do as much. Aurelius, what were your 2 attacking? Yours
They
attacking?
were both. So my veteran was hitting the same one that Aurelius had hit. So
Cool.
basic flame and
Normal flame and
The
normal
lowest was a 14 to hit.
Cool, they both hit, yeah.
So 2 what?
Give me these 2 numbers separately.
And that was 2 8s plus 3.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. Which is 11 each, so 22 points of damage.
So it's 11, so it will be 5 and then 5, 10. Because they do not have magical weapons. And Roland, what were yours? Oh, and he takes 5 fire damage back.
Oh, how much does my one take?
None.
None.
No,
Okay.
because they stabbed with plate mail. Oh, sorry, so he can actually only take 2 points of fire damage
Resistant.
because he's resistant. Oh, in fact, no, it'll be less than that. It will be.
1?
Oh, it still comes down to 2. It still comes to 2. I didn't roll a 1.
One of the rolls was an 18, so that definitely hits, and then
Yeah.
the other was 15.
What one is he attacking?
The 2 that are near me, so one of those.
Cool.
Hopefully
They
the one that
both
I've been
hit.
attacking. Cool. One's 5 plus 3, so it's 8. And then the other is 7. So 3.
Awesome. Stop. Aldina's turn. So the
Oh,
warlord.
it's me.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll move up to plate mail.
Yeah. Add 3 to her attack and damage rolls.
Okay.
Why is this?
Nat 20.
Wow! Fucking
Holy
wow!
Cool.
Well, unless I roll shit like I keep rolling.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I've seen worse. For the Ultras.
17.
17. Is that including the plus 3?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then attack 2.
Yep.
That rolled everywhere.
That'd be good.
18.
That hits.
That's good.
19. Yeah.
Like great weapon master. No.
Okay.
Cool. I'm not modifying it that much. It just has a plus 3 critical.
Cool. Yep.
Awesome.
And
No.
takes no damage. Cool.
Yeah, because it's one of the other ones. Now we
Yeah.
go to Owen. which is the
I'm
war
going to
priest.
cast Spiritual Weapon
Yep.
near Clarissa, because there's still one there, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah. The last plate metal. What metal? There.
So yeah, going to put that there
Yeah.
as a
It's a bonus action. Gets to make an attack against it as well.
great sword. I think is what.
Probs.
Yeah,
You use red sword, sure.
that's a natural 20.
3.
So that will do 2d8 damage.
Yeah.
2d8 plus 3.
So that's 8 plus 3 is 11.
And 11 damage to that one. Awesome. That's starting to show some nice signs of damage and wear and tear. What's she going to do with her action? He's going to do her action. His action, sorry.
He doesn't have cantrips. Fuck.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't have any that will help. Oh, he's got Sacred Flame. He can Sacred Flame.
I did not see cantrips listed. Sacred Flame then.
Same
Against
one,
the same
actually.
one.
That is a 24.
That's going to pass. The DC of 15.
Yes. That was a nat 20 on the save. What a waste. Cool. Legendary actions, any?
Yeah. I will stab it now.
Go for it.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes.
25.
You stab it.
Need some more dice over there.
I like sneak attack.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got someone who gives you legendary action, so you get advantage on said
Oh,
attack.
hang on. Wait. Just in case. I can reroll one. No, still not 20. 10, 14, 16, 19, 22, 25, 27, 31.
The thing is still there,
Yeah.
but it is getting close to not being.
And a big wound appears on it.
Oh yeah, it's wounded.
Now wounded.
That's the start of its turn, right?
Yep.
Cool.
At the start of its turn, it takes 1d4 and has to make con save.
Yep. Cool. Lazarus.
Oh right, my turn again. Okay, so it's the second round of bouncing.
Yep. This is the second round.
We're on the second round now. Oh Jesus. How like hurt is everyone? If
I'm on fire like the sun.
Praise the sun.
But you've just used it.
I feel we should make this realistic to try and
It's
speed it
only
up.
1d6.
Let's light his shirt on
Yeah,
fire.
but it's doing hard.
Let's see how quick this combat ends.
Okay.
There's
let's,
how many left?
There's still 4 normal elementals, and then 1 of the.
Bear in mind there's 2.
Yeah, but we've got plenty of heals and you've got a shit ton of hit points. You've still got a shit ton of hit
Yeah, you'll be fine. You think
Famous
he'll
last words.
You're being held in your turn anyway. I'll use Vicious Mockery on one of the elementals.
How do you mock it?
Yeah.
points. Viciously.
Yeah, viciously. Tell him it's a no smoking area.
Gets a 1.
So that's 4d4, is it, at this level? No, 3d4. I like that's 1, 1, and 2.
Yay!
Good. A whole 5 damage. Nice.
Yeah.
Hardcore body.
4.
So 4
1,
damage.
1 and 2.
That's right.
I know it's a Sunday, but
He's had a day to rest from work.
Yeah,
he should
I
be back.
know.
He should be getting back into
I'm
it.
not at work. That's the issue. Cool. And it's disadvantage in this attack roll.
Yes.
Cool.
Attack that thing.
I actually haven't got my reaction back yet.
Damn it.
No.
Who's a melee thing? You're a melee.
I
You
can-
have- you have claws. No, you
Yeah, I
don't.
have a sword. I have a
Oh,
sword.
you have a boop. Boop him.
I have a scimitar. Boop.
With advantage.
That's advantage. Unless you
that's a 6 and a 9 for a total of plus 8.
I think
so-
they're hitting.
Yeah, it hits.
You're only against fire elementals.
Close
so-
was 14, so.
1d6. Yay.
Is this a magical boop?
The lowest was 16. Yeah, yeah.
No, no.
Sorry, yeah. 14.
6 damage.
Sorry.
3
damage.
So she gets them back.
That's why
I kind of has countings.
That's why I went to play.
Brandon.
Brandon.
So I've just got the one next to him in front of me, haven't I?
There's 2 there.
Oh, okay.
You're close-ish to 4. You're next to 2.
So is there a way I can just pat him down to get over fire as a bonus action?
Not as a bonus action.
I'm going to hit a fire elemental.
Yes, you are.
Twice.
Go for it.
Do either of them look more wounded than the other, or?
He's been hitting one constantly in front of you, so that's probably more wounded.
I'm going to hit that one then.
Yeah.
One or twice. Well, I'll do one at a time. So first
It
attack,
doesn't look like it's been hurt.
it's a 20 something,
That hits.
and 1, which is an 8 in total.
Cool. You take, after the halving, 5 fire
Oh,
damage.
Jesus Christ. And again
well,
is 20 something. And a whole 10 damage this time.
Okay, cool. And coming back, you will take 3 fire damage. Bonus action?
Screw it, yeah, I'm going to hit him again.
Go for it.
That's 2, so that's not. That gives me a 13. Yes, 13.
That hits.
That's a 5.
So you can only miss on one.
Yes. Plus 6, so that's 11.
And you're going to take 5 fire damage.
God damn it!
Everyone
Is that the end of your turn?
down.
Yes.
Think it makes a
8.
Oh.
Again, another hit.
No, not you.
Oh, who?
This one.
Yeah, she gets to do it herself.
Oh, okay.
Plus 12. 20.
Nice. She's next to the
armoured
plate
one.
mail
Yeah.
one, yeah.
17.
It's just about holding on, not for much longer.
Knock it out, Manchester.
Dolda!
I really want my wound to kill it.
So, how do they all look at the moment?
Unfortunately, that wound's a while.
There's the plate mail one, the lava plate mail one is flickering in and out pretty heavily. It's not looking very good. And then the 2 normal elementals that have been attacked are showing signs of fire going out, but there are 2 that are unharmed.
I'm going to point at one of the ones that's unharmed and go, and cast blind.
Fuck me.
A purple and black blind hits it.
On save. I believe.
That is a 14.
It fails!
88.
9d8, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 6, 7, 8, 9. Sweet! I don't need no dice.
I see 3 8s.
So that's 8, 16, that's 20, 28, 30, 36, 39, 46 points of damage.
A little bit down.
A little bit of damage.
It takes no damage.
Oh, keep on
Half damage.
Doesn't look hurt though.
No.
The green ray bolt blasts out and hits it, and the fire sort of turns green-black for a while and then goes back to burning the flaming red that is there.
I didn't want to do it on my walls that looked injured, just like overkill by a mile.
Cool, so it's their turn.
I've used all 3, I think. No, I'm just trying to.
Used 1. I think you only used 2.
What's this?
Yeah, I think you've got one
Legendary.
because you didn't give him another because he'd already used it.
Alright, go.
Oh, sure.
Get your reaction to pop there.
Advantage.
Okay.
Get yourself back again.
Yeah. 20 something.
That hits.
That's a 10.
Awesome. You take 1 point of fire damage.
That's much
I'm just slowly killing Jordan's character by
Yeah.
marking him to attack.
Alright,
He's resistant to fire as well.
fire
Still
elementals
advantage.
are...
Shit,
Where are you?
I should have taken command.
Don't worry. Someone has.
Hey, go Bards.
Okay,
Just command all those.
there's now... You guys are doing a bunch of other things. So, one of the ones the one that you've been attacking is going to turn around or just attack to try and set you on fire. Another one's going to go for Aurelius, and then the other 2 are still going to go for Roland. The 2 attacks against you.
There's another guard by the 2 where I am.
Yeah, I know.
Don't want to die.
You're not gonna die.
That is an 18 and a 25.
25 hits.
18 doesn't hit, amazing. It's going to be 7 points of fire damage after its half, and you are on fire. Aurelius, 2 touches against you. That is a crit and a 20 total.
Still hit.
What?
18.
20.
Now.
Oh, she doesn't have HP.
After a crack.
32 points of fire damage. And you're still on fire.
Put that out at some point.
Then Roland, you get 2 coming up against you. That's a crit.
Woo!
And a 15.
Yeah, that misses.
Cool. So
So you only get the crit.
Better than him.
Thank fuck. Maybe.
Fine. He's not
16 points of fire damage.
Hey.
Was that the crit or?
That was the crit, yeah.
Oh.
And then the second one, I rolled really low. Gets an 18 and a 19.
Yeah, they hit.
Cool.
Rip. Just keep on.
How much dead is he?
As long as he doesn't get like 2 18s or something.
Total of 21 points of fire damage.
We're fucked.
You don't need healing. No, he doesn't need healing. Why would he need healing?
Not yet.
Cool. Now it's the Myrmidon's turn, and it takes damage at the start of its turn.
Wait, you said the elementals did that. Did you give him disadvantage
One.
on one of the attacks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, I'm wrong.
No, it takes it. And
It's
then
still a crit.
Seriously?
I made him waste a 20.
He doesn't waste 20s, he has got an unlimited number. Like,
How
he's just got like 20s up his sleeve and just goes, whoa, 20, whoa, 20.
Oh, it's still alive.
Oh.
but closer to death,
But closer to
and
death.
it makes a con save.
That's a 20. Not 20 plus whatever.
It's no longer wounded. No longer
It's
wounded.
no longer wounded.
But it can't heal from the damage it took from the
Oh
dagger.
no.
How's everyone else looking, by the way?
Shit.
I'm pretty alright.
Pretty fine.
You need me to take
Okay.
con saves, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah,
There's
you should do
concentration for those 2 attacks. That's a fail.
Who's it hitting?
Well, it recharged its fire
Yay,
strikes.
so now my healing spirit
So
is
its
down.
scimitar sets on fire again, and it's going to make 3 attacks
didn't hit.
again.
That's unfortunate.
You don't need healing.
As soon as it gets to the top
Against
of
who?
the
Clarissa.
you'll-
No.
It's ignoring everyone else and just going for Clarissa.
Okay.
Shit, that's 3 hits. That's a 19.
How's Clarissa looking?
Where's her hit points? Oh, she's
Fuck
looking
this,
fine.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, Clarissa's
You
fine.
deal with it.
Yeah. She's just got hit 3 times.
I like
That,
that.
and there.
Is it bright light at the moment?
Yeah. 18 points of slashing damage. And then 1 so nothing, 1 so nothing. 3 points of fire damage. Awesome. That's that done. So now it's Clarissa's turn. So
Do you really need to roll for this?
You need to see if she hits.
yeah, first one is a 30.
It's dead.
So she cleaves through that large plate mail one, and then is going to use her movement to get up close to another one of the normal things, and is going to make an attack against that. That is a 31. No, yes, a 31. So she hits.
This is one of the reasons we should leave him with the NPCs. Just for the motion.
Especially when with that, let's see.
But also, he's basically just sitting there doing some vaguely masturbatory actions behind the screen.
And then makes a third attack.
See?
That went completely off.
Something on there.
And she hits on an 18.
That's like the lowest roll you've had all day.
19 damage and kills that last one. Well, not the last one, kills that one, so one more of the elementals.
Which one was it next to? The one next to me? Here,
Yeah.
the 2 next to...
In retaliation, she takes 5 fire damage. Cool. Aurelius, one of the things you're fighting has just gone down.
And I'm still on fire.
Yep. Oh, yeah, so you're going to take.
Oh yeah,
Ring of
never mind.
fire. Ring of fire.
2 fire damage. You burn.
Right, I will attack the one that's next to me 2 times.
Go for it.
And bonus action, I guess. Actually, it's pointless. I'll just attack twice. So the first one is 24. 5 to hit.
That will hit.
Second attack is a 16. Should we say?
That will hit. I'm going to take.
That's so
So that's a 10. 13. So 24 points of damage.
That one is looking hurt. You take 11 points of fire damage back.
I was trying to get the feeling this barbarian's a bit of a masochist.
He just likes the sun.
Cool. Roland, start your turn.
And I'm on fire too.
You take 3 points of fire damage.
Oh, I don't
Put it out.
have to. My hands.
Yes.
You can use an action to douse the flames.
I'd rather heal myself because that's exactly what I'm doing.
And then just
With
burn
with heal.
It's only done like 3.
Using heal.
I'm using heal. The
Okay.
spell that
Jesus
literally does what it
Christ.
says. Heal.
70 hit points.
70
yeah,
hit
that won't
points.
even put the max.
No, it doesn't.
You've taken some hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're on like
Do you know what? It was that. It was that
22
first.
heat.
It was that
22 out of
first
107.
30-something damage all
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Allurin.
Yeah, I'll move over to a thing.
Yep. There are 2 that are flickering and looking hurt, and 1 that's been untouched as you go.
I'm stab that one.
Go for it.
Or attempt to.
Go
With
for
my
it.
nat 1.
Hit.
That'll hit. I think with a
No.
15.
That hits, yeah.
There are others next to it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sword.
All the 6s this time.
I like rolling ones a lot on D6. 31.
Cool.
And it's wounded.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hashtag wounded.
And then I will.
I think their pride is wounded.
Then I'll go. And then disengage.
Okay.
Do you move back?
Yeah.
Vets.
Go back.
Oh.
No, I just use the disengage action that doesn't wait.
Now you can get out with a short
Just gonna
sword.
get the second sword out and then run it. The wounded one and attack that one.
Yeah.
There's now 3 wounded ones, so I'll just make things die.
Oh, yeah, that'll
Just
Oh,
make
right.
sure you know
Oh, they
which
all
one
hit.
the short sword attack is.
Yeah. These are 2 long sword attacks.
My veterans don't.
At
They all hit.
something
No.
high.
Wait, short sword attack.
Lowest 16 for the long sword and
Please roll another
23 for the short sword.
3. The short sword.
So all of them are hitting.
Does a
A
15
3,
hit?
3,
Yeah.
and 19.
Cool, so I get 2 attacks as long as
And a short sword attack.
Yeah, that got a 6.
Okay, cool, yeah, so those 2 will hit, so roll those.
So D8, D8, and D6 for me.
Yeah, plus numbers. Aurelius, what will
Okay,
you
so let's say
I
3?
rolled a 3, a 3, and a 19. So the short sword hits.
Okay, the
did
short-
1 point of damage.
Yeah,
Just
So
do the
then it
damage.
goes up to 4 and half to 2.
yeah, that's cool. Oh, cool. So you're doing 2.
Just to do damage individually.
Yes, because
Yeah.
they're not there.
okay.
Roland, what were your 3 attack rolls?
They
all hit,
Okay, cool.
but it was 24 in total.
So
But
it's
it was-
7 points from the short sword, 8
And it's
points
10
from
damage
the
in
long
total.
sword,
So 7 points of the short sword is 3,
8 from the long sword, and then
4.
9 from the long sword.
which is 4.
Mine
Cool.
gets 5 and 4 damage.
Hmm?
5 and 4
Is
damage.
that after it's half?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, so 2 and 2. Cool.
After being halved, it's 4, 4, and 2.
Damn,
10
you
damage.
rolled high.
10.
I rolled a 6 plus 3, a 5 plus 3, and 1.
So Aurelius, your 1 will take 2 fire damage. Roland, your 1 takes 4 fire damage.
Oh, did I take fire damage when I stabbed?
You took 2 fire damage.
Cool.
Brandon, yours takes. That is 2, 6, 9 fire damage.
Is that after being halved?
Yeah, that's after it's being halved. And Lazarus, your 1 takes 5 fire damage.
How are the things looking?
I mean, you
Wiring.
nearly the one that you all laid into is looking a lot more hurt than it did, but it's actually still there. Because your attacks aren't doing that much.
How are we
because
still
they're
with the
all
banished one?
Ardina.
That's
True.
if it comes back.
Plus, there's an
Warlord,
issue called
Ardina.
with, pardon than that.
Oh! She stabs a fire elemental.
Yeah, she does.
I missed it.
You just rolled, so got 19 with it.
Yeah, I have 19 plus numbers.
She is.
Who needs a tray?
You need a crit.
16.
16 damage. Cool.
Then she hits again.
Yeah, she takes 4 damage back.
That's
12.
Takes 5 damage back.
So 9 total.
Yeah, but I don't think
Oh
we're
no,
gonna do
because
that.
on
She
the next turn she has
heals
10.
heals, yeah, so
Yeah.
don't worry about right now.
Mad
But that's another one that's looking close to death.
Yeah, at the end of her turn, she'll make another attack.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's dead. It's with 4 hit points.
Yeah, 6 plus 8.
Yeah, you just carves through one with fire. Owen,
Was that the really wounded one, or?
that was one of the 2 really wounded ones.
Oh.
There's now one really wounded one and one that just started taking damage.
Gonna spiritual weapon
Oh, she
against
couldn't do that, sorry.
That's cool, we'll just do it at the end of this turn. Cool.
spiritual weapon against the other the other wounded one.
Yeah, go for it, attack roll.
I've lost my D20. Oh, I'm using it to stuff a page. It's 11. Doesn't hit.
Yeah, roll a 5. Damn.
Uh-huh. No, I rolled a 4.
Roll a 4, I'm also looking at the wrong stat block.
Which I'm pretty sure isn't going to hit.
Yeah, it's 11. Cool. Well, she has a reaction. She can add 10.
Oh shit, yeah. Fuck it, why not? Yeah, because I'm War Priest. Yeah,
Isn't
so
there a guy?
he, yes.
Yes, he. Sorry.
He's gonna, do
Yeah. Cool. Spiritual weapon hits.
2d8?
1d8.
1d8.
1d8 plus 3.
5.
And that was against the injured one,
The
right?
injured one, yeah.
It's still just about there.
Cool. Is Guiding Bolt a bonus spell as well?
No, it's an action.
Sacred Flame.
And
That's an action.
is it an action to do spiritual weapon? Or it's all
Bonus
after
action.
Cool, so I'm going to do Guiding Bolt against the one that's okay.
Yep.
And that's a 3! So that's a 10 total, so that doesn't
That doesn't hit, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's a really bad set of rolls.
Cool. Then she kills the fire elemental.
Yeah. Well, the other dice. Cool. Lazarus.
Okay, right. So everyone, there's 2 elementals left.
Yep.
One of them's looking really hurt, the other was less so.
Yep.
As compared to us, where he's complaining about death constantly.
No, he looks
We're
alright again.
still on fire.
I'm really bad at fire. Like,
I'm
the shirt
alright
is like not returnable, the refund expires, there's burns everywhere.
I'm sure you've taken a couple of burns as well.
So,
Whatever. It's mass kill wins people.
I'm just going to wait and do pro healing afterwards on this person.
Okay, so it's 3d8 on 6 people. So you 2.
I haven't taken any damage.
Taking 18 damage.
How much damage did you take?
30?
Do you not roll it and did it afterwards?
About
Well,
30.
3d8 plus.
109.
Oh, yes, that one. Okay.
I haven't taken any, so I guess I just got it hard this one. But
It
still.
really does.
Heal the
I
NPCs
need
as well.
lots. I need lots of one big heal as opposed to.
Yeah, okay, I could one rock to you and just do a. Yeah, it's just a level 4 wins on you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's 3d8 stone.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh!
2 8s and a 6.
2 off max.
22.
Plus
with
plus my charisma.
No.
Plus my charisma.
Oh, you're a bard.
Yeah, so
Sorry, I
plus
thought you
another
were.
4.
Yeah, I know, I did as well. To
So
start with.
yeah, that's wins
6.
26.
No, 94.
Hey, nice. I'm taking him with 100 damage.
I took 107 damage. So
He's still on fire.
2 people
I am
still on fire.
3.
You need to just
3
create
people
water
are
above us
It's
all.
all your own fault, though, because you're not just putting it out. You're just going, No,
I'm just going to murder
I'm
someone.
trying to
More
put
trying
mine
to stay
out.
alive than actually
Cool.
put out fire.
Being on fire is
Brandon.
I put out the fire,
Stay alive.
You put out the fire. You're no longer on fire.
and then I'm going to use a bonus action to attack the one that he's that one.
Just
flurry of blows.
No, the flurry of blows is the one you have to do with an after attack action.
Oh, I know.
No,
it's
after an-
the
after
third
an
turn
action.
of banished.
It says after an attack action is what it's supposed
Say
to
attack.
It
Okay.
says attack specifically.
Yeah. But
So I thought the one extra with the punching fist was a bonus
thought-
action.
I
No,
thought
when
the
you use
flurry of
an
blows
attack action with an armor strike and might weapon on your turn, you can make one armor strike as a bonus action.
And what did it say? Flurry of blows.
Flurry of blows is.
You get to make 2 attacks.
After you take the attack action, you can spend 1 point to make 2 attacks. You have to make the attack action. So you put
Patient
out the
defense.
flames, and that is it.
Patient
Or you
defense.
can use patient defense. You can dodge for a key point.
We're definitely going to have a short rest after this, so
Yeah, so
why not? Give everything disadvantage on time. Patient defense is so damn strong.
yeah, there's not much else. I've got nothing. Yeah, I might as well. I've got the key to spare right now.
So the key point dodge.
You can have a short rest after.
Exactly.
Doda.
So there's
Big fire.
1 left?
2 left.
2 left.
One looks close to
One's
not being left.
moving.
Do I take damage from the beginning on the fire thing, or?
You take 5.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, I feel it's only fair to ask though.
Wow, you booked that on yourself.
Yeah, he would have remembered it in a minute anyway.
Hey, you may not have.
Fuck it.
Flight.
Against the the uninjured
The
one.
uninjured
Less
one.
injured
Less
one.
injured one.
Is it a plant?
It gets fail. The 14 is not high enough.
What was that last time as well?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Wait, what
98.
you cast it?
I have to
Oh,
cast
yeah,
at max
yeah.
level to unwall.
Oh, yeah.
12,
I
15,
thought it was
no, D8,
No, it's
right?
D8. Yeah, it's
8, 9, 11, 14, 15, 21, 28, 36,
We can.
That's more than the last one.
12, 15, 12. No, I did miscount.
Yeah, I'm sure you said you changed your mind the
Yes,
second time you
I-
looked at it.
15, 18, 21, 22, because that was a 1 hit. It's like 38 damage.
You kind of lost track of it.
That'll do.
I'm gonna just leave the number I wrote down. Cool. Oh, it's their turn.
He stabbed it with a thing.
Wound.
He wounded.
Wound.
Huh? Oh yeah, the wounded one
3.
dies. It has 1 hit point left.
Yes.
What's the wound?
Yeah. As it goes to lift its thing. Ew.
Yeah, it splits down the middle. And
Best
disappears.
wound.
So the last one left.
It prevented 2 attacks. It's a very good
Yeah.
wound.
It's going to.
Person just cast blight on it.
They can't get to him. I mean, it can actually because it has. Ah, fuck it! It's going out.
Actually, hang on.
It's literally going to
You've
go
got
out in a
another
burst
ability.
of flames.
I got more legendary actions, huh?
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More.
Cool. Stab him. Stab us. Oh no, that one's dead. Never mind.
Warlock is suffering.
Yeah.
Is anyone
I'm
next
not
to
There,
saying
the
there,
that.
are,
next
there
one,
are
yeah.
other people who are next to it. Roland is.
You got a reaction?
I'm not sure who
I was
next to
like,
it.
I'm this. I can already use mine.
I have a reaction if I can do a spell attack.
It's an attack action.
That's like
My
a
reaction's
rocket.
pretty good.
I have a dagger, I can throw it.
There are definitely vets who are in.
Oh yeah,
range.
vet. Sure. Your vet.
Okay.
Stab a thing with
Do an
advantage.
advantage.
Natural 10!
Plus
5.
3.
That's it.
Plus 5.
Oh,
Oh yeah, plus 5 yeah, so
Oh,
15.
That hits.
Alright,
Either
Plus
one
3
hits.
on damage.
Roll damage.
Just 1 d8.
Oh yeah, sorry.
8.
Yeah. Yeah, plus 3.
5.
boom, 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 boom.
Cool. Oh, and he takes 4 fire damage back. Or she. I don't know which one you've got.
Yeah.
That one. Fire elementals it is going to spend its movement moving through as many people as it can, setting you all on fire.
I should have levitated.
What, just moving?
All
Yeah.
of us.
Apart
I'm
from
dodging.
it doesn't have to roll to hit; it just moves through your space and you set it on fire. Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying,
all of the people next to it get to attack it as it does this.
Yeah,
That includes
Because
me.
actually, no, it can just take the disengage action and still get all of you by it because you're all attacking it. So yeah, it uses the disengage action and does this.
I'm
So
not-
everyone except for Lazarus
Yeah.
and Doldar
Back.
are now on fire.
I was already.
Really?
Yeah.
What, does it get disengaged so it can run through as many people as it wants?
It can move through people as it wills because it is made of fire.
No, I mean without getting reactions.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
use the
that's
disengage
basically
action and
just
nothing.
go.
Make
I thought it was
opportunity
just people who
attacks.
are around you at the
No.
time.
No,
Oh.
every
Disengage affects everyone.
disengage your people. So strong.
So I should be able to
Yeah.
dodge that.
It'll be
You
kind
can
of
literally, you could play with this game and be like, huh, in range, no, no, uh-huh.
Yeah. So you are now all on fire.
Until you end up accidentally spending like too much movement and standing for them. Shit.
disengage will be kind of trap if you escape from one person and then you walk past another and he
You go,
just kills you.
donk.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
So it's Clarissa's turn. She takes 4 points of fire damage for being on fire, and then steps up to the elemental, makes 3 great sword attacks against it. She hits 3 times. I don't think she's going to need
She
to
can
change
die.
dice.
yeah, but she'd have to be attacked by every
Well, the thing is, I had it ready in case they were going to attack her.
Yeah, no, I've got my hit points written down for my one. It's just nowhere near it.
Mine's still got
I thought you should be close with another go at attack.
Oh yeah, she's on fire. I haven't made Owen on fire. These are not an imposter. I'm going to use that. Just going to shoot that this one's hard to get this
like goofy smile.
61 points of damage.
Was that a crit or not?
No, that was just a hitting.
3 attacks, yeah?
Yep.
Oh right, I was going to say
That was one of Jesus.
that would be a little extreme.
Glad I got enough D6s up. She just steps forward. Oh, she'll take some damage back. It was a weak hand.
Not enough.
Is it dead? She takes 4 and then a 1, which is nothing, and 5, which is 2. She takes 6 damage back.
Is
Good,
dead?
that's a good exchange.
Huh? Was that?
Dead.
Yeah, she cleaves through it, and the last one just.
I put the fire out of me and the people around.
That's cool.
fire.
You guys will spend your actions
But,
to
so
put the fire out. That's
4
fine.
more, 7 more turns pass.
Yes, we wait the next.
Oh yeah, you'll wait around, and that last one won't come back. That's
Right.
fine.
Do
So
we take fire damage or
So
anything
they're
from being
they're
on
not
fire?
from around.
Put yourself out.
yeah, just because there's enough things there that other people can put you out before
Okay.
it reaches your turn, and then you can put other people out. It's fine.
Cool.
So what I'm going to say is we're going to stop for a little bit and have a break.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be the end of this episode. We haven't worked out yet. So either this is the end of part 1, or midway through part 1. But I don't imagine the end of part 1. So we're back to part 2.